Hi guys, welcome to the 2025 Ezone review here with Yonex's new frames for 2025. I'm joined by Harriet Dart, the best player we've ever had on the channel, bar none. She's going to talk us through the Ezone range. You currently use the Ezone, right? What model do you use?
I use the Ezone 98.
98, okay. So what we're going to focus on today is the 98, obviously, the 98 Tour, which is going to be a bit heavier, see how she deals with the extra weight, is it more stable? We've also got the 100, which is a very popular frame, obviously down at 300 grams, that bigger head size giving you more power. And we've also got the 98L. Will that more maneuverability help, or what will she find going with that? So we're going to hit from the baseline, get a feel of the new rackets, let's see if they've changed at all from the previous generation, and we're going to do every shot and give you your honest feedback on what model suits which players and which one Harriet will be using in the 2025 season. Has the feel changed slightly from the baseline in terms of this model? Are you noticing any difference, or does it feel pretty similar?
It definitely feels like I have more power.
Yeah.
Something that I'll have to get used to trying to control a little bit more, just with more play, and I'd probably play around with the tension a lot more. But other than that, I wouldn't say it's like massively different in my first thoughts of it. But definitely the power was the first thing I could see, and now I'm thinking the 100 on my ball's gonna be rocketing. So it's gonna be interesting.
I got you. So is cosmetics a big thing for you when changing your racket?
It is, because a lot of the time it can be a little bit mental.
Yeah.
If you love something so much and then you change, I know it can be, it feels problematic. It feels like you're playing with a brand new racket when sometimes it's the same, or just slightly updated. But previously I was playing with the V-Core. Yeah. And it was red my entire career. And then this year when I actually changed to the Ezone, changed to white, I was like, oh wow, finally a new colour.
Gone for that. And
it looked really cool, and I was like a little bit gone with it, you know. But I love this racket a lot, and blue is my favourite colour. So
yeah. You mentioned control. I wonder how much of this is strung with Polytour Pro.
Yes.
125 at 52. But obviously when you're doing gut, even though it's a more powerful string, you're stringing tighter.
Yeah.
So normally as you string tighter, your launch angle is that little bit lower as you're hitting. What I'm going to give you now, well, which one to choose? I'm going to give you, as you're grooved, I'll give you the 98 Tour. Okay. So this, a bit more stable.
Okay.
315 unstrung. It's this very, very similar racket. It's just really the weight.
Okay.
But see how you get on. Obviously, you've got a boy hitting a big ball down the other end, so it'll help you with stability. So Harriet's been playing with the 98 Tour. What are your first impressions compared to yours? Obviously, you actually go down in weight to 300-ish. So how does it feel at 315?
Heavier, I can definitely feel that. But honestly, it feels quite nice. I mean, I feel like I have a little bit more control. Right. But I don't know if that's just me
just how you feel,
just how I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's playing like big tennis out there as well. But yeah, it feels nice, and I'm intrigued why I haven't tested it, if I'm honest.
We're not going to get in your head with your choices for the new season.
Hopefully not. But yeah, I think it definitely feels heavier, and I might need to, well, try and gain some more upper body strength before I test this a little bit more out. But it's a very nice racket. You
mentioned more stability, you mentioned a bit more control. Is that because it's more stable through the
I think it's because it's got more weight as well.
Yeah.
So it's taking longer to go through the ball, I would say.
Sure. Okay.
But then like when I don't even know how to say it. Yeah. It's like when you're in the position to hit, the racket stays, it doesn't drop.
Stability. And
that's like the help from the racket, not from you.
Got you. Yeah. Let's give you the 100, the power racket.
Oh God.
So.
This is what my mum plays with.
Yeah.
The 100, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, no, she doesn't. She used to play with the 100. Oh gosh, it's way thicker. It's funny, isn't it? Because obviously I used to play with 100, and then switching to 98. Now, just seeing how thick it is, I'm like, gosh, how did I play with this?
There you go.
It's
you
like
might fall back in love with it. You never
maybe.
know.
God, can you imagine? Suddenly I have to change all my specs.
Yeah.
Love it.
So when you were playing there, that looked effortless. Looks like you're taking off a little bit of the racket at speed maybe because you got a bit more power, but just so grooved with it. Did it kind of bring back fond memories of the 100s, or you're a 98 girl for life now?
I feel like I'm a 98 girl, for sure, but at the same time, it felt very nice. Very stable, but a lot of power, didn't have to generate anything. But yeah, I don't know how I would respond in a match situation if I really wanted to unleash. But yeah, it's a very comfortable racket, and I think the racket does a lot for you.
I guess it's that trust element. Playing against a chump like Josh down the other end where you can just nut winners for fun. The 100's easy power, right?
Easy power, yeah.
But in a match, 8-all and a breaker, what are you going to go for, the 98 or the 100?
98.
Yeah, okay.
Stick with what you know.
Yeah. What was your overall thoughts, thinking lots of power? But
lots of power, nice for hitting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, personally for me, on in a match situation. I think it would ping a little bit, because I'm quite a powerful player anyway.
What sort of player would that suit then, the 100?
What sort of player? Someone who plays a bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should clarify. A lot for me is like every day.
So
someone who, plays club tennis, wants easy power. I think that would be really suitable for them. Yeah,
okay. One more to throw in the mix, the last one, is the 98L. So this is similar in specs to your current one. However, off the frame, it's 285.
Oh, it's
going to be lighter. Yeah.
But longer?
Same
Oh,
to
it's
that.
light, sorry.
Yeah.
Got you.
So they do make a 98 plus, which is a longer one at the 305 grams. This is just 285.
My friend plays with the 98 long. That's why I just thought L. I don't know why I just thought long,
So this one may be a bit more, obviously, manoeuvrability, but it's interesting what you feel like, contact point, dwell time, that sort of stuff.
The balance is different.
The 98L would be slightly more head heavy.
I can feel it already. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Here we go.
All in the head.
So with that from the ground, how does it feel compared to your normal spec up 98?
More weight in the head for sure. I keep doing this because I don't know, it just feels like so different. But honestly, it feels nice. It's a hard decision to when you with rackets and what you do and don't like and stuff. But this feels nice and definitely. Something to look at.
So like a 13, 14, 15-year-old Harriet, would you be looking at one like that?
100%.
Yeah,
because when you're still developing and stuff, you got to be so careful with putting too heavy a racket on your arm, and you don't realise the consequence of like even 15 grams. It's quite drastic. I
feel like as a kid as well, you want that. You want to go up to 27-inch racket like straight away. And also you want like a 300-gram racket, 315, you want the heaviest. I see a lot of kids come into our store and they're like, I want the 300-gram racket, and they're 12, 13, 14, they're not ready. But this at like 285, for that 13, 14, 15, they also make an SL, so it's a super light, and that's down at 270. So that's like your transition racket at 12, 13, and 285, maybe 14, 15, 16, or someone that just wants a bit more manoeuvrability. They're coming right up the back of the ball.
And I guess someone on the other age, the other way, I think it would be good as well. But I think it's what's also cool about this racket is that it looks exactly the same. So I think, well, I feel like I'm a bit old now, but when I was growing up, a lot of rackets that were a bit lighter looked a bit different to the rackets, and you always wanted to be the same as someone else and whatever. So what's nice about this range is that they all look exactly the same. You wouldn't know unless you're close up to knowing what racket that someone is playing with.
So in terms of when you're at the net as well, you've tried the rackets in terms of volleying and little touch shots. What made you, in terms of when you went from the V-Core to the Ezone, what was it like in terms of volleying?
The stability, also the pop from the ball.
And
I don't know, I just feel more comfortable with it at the net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the 98 today, do you just feel grooved with that at the net compared to the others?
I do. I mean, it's what you know. It's
Yeah.
what I know.
Yeah.
And I'm comfortable with playing with this racket. Obviously, my string setup's slightly different.
Yeah.
So that feels a little bit weird, but it still feels nice.
So when you're serving then, what is it you want out of a racket? Everyone would want free power, big aces, but what are you looking for in terms of a racket on the serve?
Lots of aces, so come on racket.
Yeah.
What do I look for? I look for something I can trust, that I can feel good with, and that I get some easy power from, that I don't have to work too hard from, and also that you feel comfortable hitting all the serves. So whether that's kick, slice, flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, biggest match of your career, right?
I'm not thinking.
40-30 up.
Yeah.
Yeah. First serve. Where are you going? What are you hitting?
I can't tell you all my secrets, because then it shows my patterns of play. I can't be telling you that, like, no serious.
Yeah, so what, in terms of the racket,
I'm going big body, guys.
Big body, big
there we
body.
Go.
Like, especially when you're playing Josh.
Yeah.
You got a lot to aim at down there.
He's like this.
So in terms of your 300 grams, is it the manoeuvrability of that on the serve? Does that help versus a 305?
Yes, I would say. I can get faster through the ball. Feels comfortable. Again, I don't know how it's going to be with a full poly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope to swing quick with it. That's my plan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bet there's a few players on our channel that will know the thickness is different.
Oh,
we talk about small margins. For you nerds out there that watch your channel, it is small margins this year. So the difference in the racket is they've actually flattened the top of the racket, okay? Very small amount, it's slightly flatter at the top. And the thickness of the beam is ever so slightly thicker. Okay, so when we talk about Yonex, they're a technology company. They change the tech in their racket every year. It's not like they found an Ezone and then they're going, right, that's it, paint job. They change the racket, and that's good and bad. It's great in the sense of you get a new racket each year, it's different. But for you, I imagine adjusting to it, there is that slight change in terms of the racket, like when you're feeling it, and differences in the racket, small margins. At your level, that's all it is really, I guess, small margins.
Definitely, and it's good as well, like this racket is slightly different and has been told, you know, has been delivered to me that it is a little bit different. It's tough when someone says it's the same, and I'm like, it's not the same.
Exactly.
I swear it's not the same.
So what I wanted to do for Harriet is not kind of lead her in terms of the differences from a brand's point of view, but get her feedback. And interestingly, the first thing she said to me was it's a little bit more powerful, and that really translates to making sense to me with the thickness in the beam. Having a little bit of a thicker beam is going to give you that bit more power, and the little bit of flatness in the top here, there's tiny differences. Yonex's brand guidelines, or what they're saying is it's a 1% bigger sweet spot, 1%. So small margins. There's also a brand new technology in the frame called Minilon, okay? And what that's supposed to do is soften up the feel of the frame, make it a little bit more plush. So on contact, the Ezone is a powerful racket, so they tend to be stiff in the feeling. And that's been a positive and maybe a criticism in the way it feels, the crispness. Some people want a little bit of a softer feel on contact, so being a bit more plush. So that's what Minilon's supposed to achieve. Also, it's got more VDM, which is the vibration dampening mesh. Bit of a mouthful, but around the frame here, it's got more of that, so it provides a little bit more of a muted feel on contact. Obviously, it gets away with some vibrations. So it's interesting to see what Harriet feels in terms of the differences there. So what we're doing now, Harriet, is get a conclusion in terms of what racket you still feel like you might use. Is there a big change? An inside scoop for all things tennis, and that she's changed. She's going to use a 260 gram racket, or is it what you know, your specs, 300 gram 98?
Like I said, I was open to change last year. I mean, I've become more open, I think, as a player anyway. But yeah, I think I'll be sticking with my 98.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a 98 girl these days.
What about that weight? Playing at 315, would you ever tinker with the weight now?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'd have to see what my physio says.
Yeah.
Getting older and things start to get a bit sore, so yeah, have to just think about a few things and adjust as well at the same time.
Perfect. So a big thumbs up from you on the new Ezone range?
Yes, and I love the colours.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And it's going to be a change shoe for the new season?
Yep.
This colour?
Yep.
Nice.
Really cool.
There you have it. So that concludes the new Ezone 2025 range. I think we're at V8 now. Harriet's a big fan. She's swapping to the new range with the 98 at her specs. I hope we didn't give up too many of your secrets in terms of specs. There's going to be a lot of people in the comments trying to get your exact specs, which makes it tricky for us because normally Yonex are so good in their specs, and obviously the 98 is 305 grams unstrung. But thanks so much for coming on the channel, and I'm sure they appreciate your views on it.